by A.P. Thompson. Build number 1649. Collaborate on further courtly endeavors. Play. Slot, new game, please. Begin. A man steps onto stage and taps a microphone. Good evening! Before we begin the game, there are a few announcements. First, due to unexpected circumstances, the part of the player will be performed by an understudy. Couple of audible groans and one muffled boo erupt from the audience. Now, there's no need for that. This kid may not be a star yet, but I've seen her rehearse and I can guarantee she'll impress you. Boo this man! Boo! She may not have had time to memorize any of her lines, but, well, neither have any of you. Second, we'd like to warn you that this production features a significant amount of obscenity. But before the parents and the audience begin covering their children's ears, know this. This stage is enchanted such that the obscenities can only be heard by those of sufficient emotional maturity to handle hearing them. And finally, the writing room would like to issue an apology for failing to complete the script before this performance. They're working on it as I speak, so it is my pleasure to announce that tonight's performance is also a race. Who will win? The writers furiously working to finish the script or the performers attempting to perform it? I can't answer that question, but I can announce that the race begins now. We hope you enjoy this game. We game you and hope this enjoy. Where should you start? You were walking through the woods when the world around you shattered. This was both alarming and inconvenient. Isolated on a lone stretch of ground, you were transfixed as the broken landscape began to rearrange itself. Your eyes followed trees and hills collapsing in lines of 3, as if the forest you knew were not becoming carefully untangled. You dared not move from your position as the ground beneath your feet quivered in anticipation of shattering further. You passed the time this way for who knows how long. Until the court slid into view. At first, you weren't sure you could trust your eyes. But there it was, a great shining structure among the roiling landscape. Something stable and enclosed, a shelter. Well, that's just way too quiet all of a sudden. You kept your eyes on it, hoping it would draw close enough that you might peer inside its windows. And just as it came near, the shattered landscape lurched. With little warning, the forest snapped back together as if someone had pulled the knots of reality tight once again. Except by now it wasn't the forest you knew. It was hardly even a forest. You stood stretched and began the hike toward the court. A.P. Thompson presents. Later, while the sun hovered low over the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the court. Hoping to avoid any tension, you sought out a more isolated part of the hall. An empty table near an exit where no one would pay you much mind. A sound plan, except The hall was soon overflowing with people, and your table was no longer an exception. The young man, seated to your right, began engaging you in idle conversation. The weather, how you found the meal, the role of individuals in a society, how you prefer to make your bed, those sorts of subjects. Eventually inquired about how you came to arrive at the court. Got a good feeling about this one? Which answers my question quite thoroughly while raising many more, he says as you conclude your tale. But forgive me, you haven't actually finished your story, have you? You admit there's a bit more, though you have yet to make sense of it. The people within the court were earnest, but odd. After your arrival, you attempted to get some answers about your whereabouts and the strange circumstances outside, except... They spoke mostly in riddles and nonsense, didn't they? They did. Let's find out where you are. A man resting in the shade of the wall. A woman in a helmet doing her taxes at a picnic table. Don't even fucking remind me. It took me 3 hours to do my taxes yesterday. I hated it, but it's over now. A pair in front of a blackboard discussing magic. Small cat bathing in the sun atop the walls. Discussing magic, you say? There appeared to be a seminar of some sort taking place in the courtyard. What's going on, Gasso? A seminar on magic, if you understood the text on the blackboard correctly. So first, you take a metaphor, and then you stretch it really thin, right? Right. Like really, really thin. So then you forgot its original purpose. Then you inflate it. Right, just inflate the metaphor. I prefer to use my lungs for that. Then as it's inflating, you twist it like, hang on, like so. You still following? I think so. And hold on. Ta-da, there. It now resembles a dog, a delight for children and such. Okay, so what happened to the metaphor? It's a lovely little blonde dog now. I see. They seemed a bit busy, so you left them to it. Next you... Hold on! Are you seriously going to tell me about every individual conversation you had in excruciating detail? Yes. Yes, you are. Because if he lets you proceed uninterrupted, he'll learn that many of these people played a part in what happened next. Fine, fine. Said a small cat. Meow! Ah, your questions are numerous, but inconsequential, for they miss the current crisis. Meow! What crisis? Well, the crisis wherein my dinner is late. Meow! It is so late, in fact, that I'm not certain the concept of dinner isn't something I invented in a fugue of hunger. Wow! All other societal issues are mere trivialities in comparison to my plight. Your word hint is... Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep holding. Your word hint is, this is a noble profession that involves wearing a very flamboyant outfit / mask. All other societal issues are more trivialities in comparison to my plight. Purr, please, stranger, might you fill my bowl? Thus ending this ravenous standoff. A woman behind you laughed. Oh, don't listen to him, he's been fed twice today already. A woman in a helmet doing her taxes. Said the woman, I would love to tell you where we are, friend, but I haven't even figured out where we aren't. She gestured a stack of maps at the table behind her. We're not in any of those places. Or at least we weren't. Who knows if that's true now that the tide has come in? You attempt another tactic, hoping to glean some information. Perhaps she could at least tell you the name of this place. Oh, we just call it the Court. Its full name is the Court of... I forget. Something like the Court of Aluminium, but it starts with a T? Court of Tungsten? I don't know, maybe. I'm new here, and I'm bad with names, but at least I can give you mine. I'm Robin. She held out her hand, which you shook as you introduced yourself. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should try to sort this out before the tide settles. Said the man. Whoa, pal, before you ask me any more questions, you gotta know my deal. My deal is I only answer questions you haven't asked. So as to where we are, no can do. Sorry, can't tell you. Have a good night, Ash. But what are we doing? Man, we're a court of fairies on a quest to find our missing queen. He looked to both sides, then said, so let me know if you see her. Just don't ask me where she is. What did the outside of the court look like? Hey! Word, right? That's right! Scream real loud! Finding no immediate answers inside the court, you move to the top of the walls and look outward. Perhaps there was something you could see from this vantage that would shed more light on your situation. To the contrary, conditions outside the walls were even stranger than they were at the time of your arrival. The rest of the shattered landscape had now melted away. The court stood alone amid a void. But not for long. Like a rush of water, new surroundings began to surround. Much of the new topography was familiar to you. You could identify fields, water, woods, hills. But there was something else to see. A menacing group of other courts were also part of the landscape. You were not alone in noticing these. Someone shouted, "The war! The war! The war is here!" Someone else, "That can't be! Puck said no wars until we find the queen!" Then perhaps we should explain that to them! Surrounded by the enemy on all sides and bereft of an obvious course of action, the people of the court began to pray. A man stepped forward and offered the first prayer. I generally wish no harm upon our enemy. I merely pray they would fade into obscurity. You can wear a mask in the WWE too, though. Like Rey Mysterio? I think you are supposed to wear a mask in Luchador, right? Let's find out real quick. Luchador. Renowned for wearing colorful masks to hide their identity and taking on unique personas. I feel like it's a pretty important part of the experience. Yeah, it's characterized by colorful masks. Some just have long hair. Get that guy out of there. A man stepped forward and offered the first prayer. I already said that. I didn't expect that to work, but thanks. The woman named Robin offered the next prayer. My notes are quite clear on this. Prayer does not work. Our time is much better spent steering the court. Remember, their soldiers cannot cross water. We should try to take shelter behind a moat until the tide comes in. There, now that river protects us from nearly half the field. Hills should also slow their advance, so for my next prayer... The next prayer did not belong to Robin. The next prayer belonged to the cat. So long as we're making demands of God, then my wish as ever is to be fed. Yeah, our wrestling culture's boring compared to them. Psst. Probably didn't notice, but something just happened over here. What happened is, by matching fields, the court has acquired more food. Similarly, other parts of the battlefield can be matched to earn water, wood, or stone. None of those fairies in the court will tell you this. Their religion forbids them from acknowledging the existence of the user interface. But I'm a secular tooltip. I fear no god. I will do my best to provide you with this vital information. You're welcome. Yes, more of that, please. Robin then bemoaned the loss of the moat. And we face even more of the enemy than before. Why must I bother? The scholars at the blackboard now chimed in. We've identified the most strategically sound location. This spot right here. If you just steer us over there carefully, we should be fine. But Robin interjected. Stop! Look at the clock. It's almost low tide. We have time left for only one more move. Hello again. So the clock and time left Robin alluded to is, in fact, this unassuming progress bar at the very edge of your vision. Much like life, every move you make will deplete some of your remaining time. If we only have one prayer left, what do you suggest we ask for? Might as well pray for a miracle. Oh, that's a start. Apologies, but another explanation. From me, your humble tooltip is in order. The previous move chained multiple matches together. Because of this, you earned some bonus time. For the fairies of the court, this might as well be a miracle. Any chance we could do that again, whatever that was? But there was no such chance. The next prayer would be the last one. Incidentally, next prayer also belonged to you. Unsure of what any of this really meant, you imitated the people around you and made a pointless decision. Oh, what pointless decision do I want to make? The battlefield snapped together as the court snapped to attention. Places, everyone! Windows were shuttered, doors were slammed, large swaths of people merged from further inside and formed a line near the gate. A tap on your shoulder. One of the scholars. We could use some help in the dressing room if you have a free hand. Along with the scholars, introduced to you as Hop and Skip, you sorted through a large pile of costumes, props, and weapons. Check the tag on that, would you? Make sure I put it together properly. Farmer, working fairy, gathers food from fields. If it looks correct, feel free to hand it out. Hand the bundle of farmer's apparel to the first person in line. Unperturbed by the idea of harvesting wheat in the middle of a battle, they whistled as they marched out the front gate. Now do it again. Deploy another farmer. Now see if this one fits anybody. Offensive fairy. Hand a bundle of armor and weapons to the next person in line. She tests the weight of the weapon in her hand. I haven't received any training, so I'm just planning to hit anything that doesn't belong to us. After this minimal preparation, the scholars consider their work finished. I'd place our chance of survival somewhere near abysmal, but I'm afraid this is the best we can do. A small mercy, at least, that the Queen isn't here to witness this. And so you waited with the others for the battle to commence. Hello, I must pester you one more time before I take my leave. Observe, this is the undo button. Use it to change your mind as many times as you wish before starting the battle. However, the official editorial position of this tooltip is that you're liable to lose no matter how many times you change your mind presently. When you're ready to lose, use the play button to proceed to the battle. Now I leave you in peace. But, should you ever desire the company of your loyal tooltip, all you need to do is click and hold over the button or tile, and I will do my best to explain it to you. Someone hit a baseball? Okay. And then, sometime later, as the sun hovered low over the horizon, there was a feast within the walls of the court. The man to your right is beside himself with laughter. Okay, so our court, caught off guard by a sudden war, stumbled behind enemy lines, made a token of temper resistance, and was summarily toppled. Do I have that right? Yes, that does appear to be an accurate summary. Well then, certainly glad I slept through that, haha. As you look at your surroundings, a switch flips in your mind. Your own story makes a little sense now you think about it. How did your companion patch your arm? Don't worry about it. If our court couldn't withstand physical destruction, we wouldn't last 5 minutes within the pull of the tide. But enough of that. By the time I made some introductions. As you narrowly avoided learning, this place is called Titanium Court. Meanwhile, I have the honor of being the steward of the court. My name is Puck, although my lovers and enemies call me Goodfellow. I make a killer chocolate bar with peanuts in it. I am chief advisor and friend eternal to our fair queen. As fancy as that sounds, in practice it means he's unemployed. One of the scholars, a man named Hop, has approached your table. He appears to have been drinking quite a bit, maybe 2 or 4. Pulls up a seat between the two of you and assumes a jovial posture. Guess the queen stood us up, eh, good fellow? Lucky for her, I'd say. I'd skip town too if I knew what a sorry showing the court would make. But on the side, there's plus. We can continue draining a wine cellar. Now you gotta help me with that, good fellow, or you're just going to stare at me. I don't mind either way. Puck, staring at the scholar, mouth agape, slowly inhales and pinches his nose. What fools these? How drunk are you, Hop? The queen is right here. I've been speaking to her for the entire feast. An excited hush falls over the entire hall. Hop blinks, looks at you, looks at Puck, turns bright red. Oh, I see it now. That calls for Her Majesty's finest vintage. I'll be right back. As Hop makes a quick exit, you look steadily at Puck and shake your head. There's no use denying it now, not after the tale you told me. If you'd like more proof, just take a look at where you're seated. You slowly take in your surroundings. Puck smiles. Now if I may conclude my introductions, let me introduce the court to your majesty and likewise. He stands up and addresses the entire hall as he says, Long absent, the queen of Titanium Court, always a stranger, has arrived. Cheers erupt and dessert is served. To your left, Hop returned with an armful of glasses and bottles. About time too, good fellow. Did you tell her about the war yet? Titanium Court. Chapter 1, a place beloved only of clowns and criminals. And then, just a short while after the feast, the court returns to war. You're in charge of the war now, your majesty. You should be fine. Just remember everything we've taught you about magical warfare. Blinking slowly, you remind them that, at this exact moment, they have taught you roughly nothing about magical warfare. Ah, good, she remembers quite clearly. High tide. While the field is broken, arrange it to your advantage. Inspect your available units. Consult the ever-changing map. You don't know what any of this means. I was gonna say, this is inscrutable. I've got soldiers. And I got farmers. Alright, currently we have 1, 1, 3, and 1. And 2 monies. And there are some bad guys that we want to not get into fights with. I'll learn you. Yeah. Come on. Oh, yeah. Still have a little bit of time. Big puzzle skills. They're right next to me. Preparing for battle. Home run! I like the little slam dunk, home runs. Cat knocking something off a shelf. Golf balls. Whatever that was. Well, having now achieved some kind of victory in the war, you wonder if someone in the court might help you return home. It would be our pleasure if you could show us the way. Also, that was only one battle. There are many more to come, if my notes are to be trusted. Okay, well, if you understand this map correctly, if it even is a map, there appears to be some sort of signage just ahead. Perhaps you could reach those signs, you'll learn more about where you are, along with how to get home. And to reach them, we need to merely be swept forward on the tide, as we've been all along. Convenient! Well, the field is broken. Arrange it to your advantage. Boop-a-da-ba, boop-boop-boop-a-da-ba, boop-boop-boop-a-da-ba. What is this? Take a look inside the storage unit? You're quite curious about what you might find inside the storage unit, but it's locked. Go and get him, boys! I don't know why you're going that way and not the one that's next to us, but hey, follow your bliss. Guys. Weird decision. And a water and stone. We have plenty of food. Well, that's a lot of bad guys. Pumpkin. I want pumpkin. Gotta remove more people. Morty! I wasn't paying as much attention. I should have taken out more dudes. And then you're gonna go to this one, right? This one? No? You're going up there instead? That's fine. We have a river around the entire thing. They'll never make it to us. A menacing birdcage suddenly appears in front of the court. Your Majesty, I have notes on this foe. Let me know if you'd like to see them. Robin has notes in the birdcage. Right! Here's what my notes say. First, at the start of low tide, the birdcage will flood its surroundings with water. Following that, the birdcage will attack the court with birds. Fighting it may prove tricky if it's always surrounded by water. The court soldiers will be unable to reach it. You agree. You wonder if there's another approach the court could take. Either way, you thank Robin for the information. Wait, aren't some of those enemy courts empty? You've noticed a subtle difference between some of the enemy courts on the battlefield. While enemy courts have soldiers prominently stationed outside their gates, there's also plenty of them that appear to be completely empty. You think you maybe assume that these empty ones will not attack the court during the coming battle. Yes, you could assume that. Additionally, you could see when enemy soldiers will attack the court over here on the timeline. Even soldiers might be no threat if you could deal with their courts before they attack. All right. Very well. Let's murder those guys. There we go. Line them up. Your Majesty, look, there's a chest resting on that patch of land. We should be able to recover its contents as long as it remains in sight until low tide. Two chests. I left a lot of dudes. Open. Selection of goods for the taking. Oh, a winged ferry. Gunboat. Do I get both of these? I do. These chests are empty. It is now safe to shut them. Interesting. Can't afford any gunboats. Might as well go with the wing guys, right? Look out for the wing guys! Defend the castle, you stupid idiots! I was not pretty safe. With time and repetition comes comfort. You feel your maximum level of comfort increase to 1. Okay. Let's go on, Tagi. So it's Candy Crush, but resource management? There's a lot going on in this one. It's interesting. On the next morning, you awake in a strange bed. The bed is strange, but not because it's not your usual bed, but because it is also not the bed you fell asleep in. Puck told you, any room within the court might be the Queen's, so you parted with him at the first room you found that wasn't already occupied. A small chamber beneath a staircase, a twin-sized bed neighbored by a nightstand and a lamp, a small desk in the corner, no windows. Meanwhile, the bed you awaken is queen-sized, contained within a spacious chamber that opens onto a balcony. Balcony overlooks the courtyard of your new home. You appear to be roughly 5 stories above the ground. Have a good night, Panda. What should you do here? You take stock of your possessions. You look over the scant possessions that were in your person when you arrived at the court. Everything appears to be where you left it, with one irritating exception. Sometime between your arrival and now, you've managed to misplace your keys. In a way, you suppose you also managed to misplace the locks those keys were intended for. A mystery, admittedly, a much greater concern to you than the missing keys. Explore the court. What should you do here? Return to your office? Investigate the dining hall? Wait! There's the man named Puck! You have a lot to say to him! Man named Puck is just across the courtyard. Perfect, you've been many things you want to wish to ask him. Yet as you draw near, he quickly exits the scene. You might be imagining it, but he appeared to retreat the moment he saw your approach. What should you do in the dining hall? Grab some breakfast? In the light of day, the feasting hall more closely resembles a common dining area. You collect some breakfast from a buffet, then seek a table. You would prefer to sit somewhere out of the way, near an exit, ideally hidden. Sit in the most nondescript location you can find, a corner near a trash bin. Before you finish to bite, a whole host of fairy courtiers arrive with their meals and sit with you. They make idle conversation, a few honest attempts at answering your myriad of questions. None of them succeed. As you complete your meal, you idly note that your table is now the most lively and boisterous table within the hall. You also note, idly, that despite his assurances that he would answer all your questions, the man named Puck remains nowhere to be seen. As a result of eating breakfast, you get a small bonus. 10 food. Go to war, look out a window, consult the ever-changing map, let's look out a window. There are some dogs catching frisbees in the courtyard, just out of frame. Nice! Nice! Fuck yeah! Neat! Go to war. After breakfast, the court goes to war. And as you ready yourself, a question. Your Majesty, is the intensity of war to your liking? If not, please feel free to adjust the thermostat. The thermostat, maybe make things a little easier on yourself. Current comfort, 0 out of 1. +1 comfort. With her calculator returned to her, Robin can give you a detailed analysis of the battlefield. I like how they psych you out with just out of frame, but show you the dogs anyway, right? The good boys. +1 comfort. Start with 2 thorns. Enemy attacks will take damage when they attack your court. Start with 2 mulligans to let you retry a losing battle. Start with the ability to produce lumberjacks. Increase the market transaction limit by 5. I'll take some thorns. Despite falling short of them yesterday, you're confident you could reach those signs today. Very good, Your Majesty. Loyalty to this approach is quite admirable. How steadfast? I got a chest we want to keep on screen, ideally. It's reverse ascension level? It seems to be. The overall, like, fairy theming is quite good. I rather enjoy it. Alright, 2 chests on screen. Gunboat. Get it. Cash and a hard 2, whatever that is. 2 monies. Get it. Acquisition provides a brief surge of selected goods. Water. It's got good vibes. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I like it. Hey, Gumbo, go on the water there. There are no enemies, so they're just gonna go wreck some stuff up. While my team grabs as much food as they can. Alright, now that we have gunboats, we probably want to try and have a moat. A moat would be most beneficial. I need wood. Wood and stone. A tap on your shoulder. Robin points to a building in the distance. Your Majesty, that shop is neutral to this conflict. We should strongly consider stocking up our supplies. Of course, that's only if it stays in view. If it disappears before low tide, we'll have to wait until we pass another one. Need to get you down here. I don't think I can make it go where I want, unfortunately. Exchange goods and services at the shop? You can call the shop to see what they have for sale. Before you can proceed, the voice of the line stops. On the line stops you and asks if you understand how money works. Do you know how money works? No. You thought you understood a lot of things before the world shattered, and now you might as well understand nothing.
Well, I don't need your life story, man. I just gotta make sure you know where money comes from. Let me explain. First thing you gotta know is where money don't come from. You're probably used to getting stuff like wood, water, food, and rocks randomly during I died, right? Well, that's not gonna work for money. Instead, you earn money by doing your job. You do have a job, right?
You don't think you have a job.
Oh, come on, I have caller ID, you know. I know you're a fancy fairy queen of a fancy fairy court, fighting a fancy fairy war. That's totally a job. Have more confidence. Anyway, fairy queens usually earn money by defeating their enemies on the battlefield. Knock down those buildings and money will just pop on out of it. Oh yeah, you can also get some money by selling stuff, maybe to us, but doing your job is a surefire method. Oh, now that I've given you the talk, how about I tell you what we have for sale?
How much money do I have? 8. I have 8 monies. Increase max health by 10. Driller, working defensive fairy, gathers rocks from hills, defends your court. A miner just takes food. This guy takes a few other things, but defensive end gets us rocks. Ooh. I'm gonna buy an archer. Defensive driller. I'll buy the defensive driller. Preparations for war! I got hills next to me, which is nice because my archers could use them. I have a little waterway where a gunboat can make some progress. Oh, does the timer actively progress while I'm doing my preparations? Let's see, I want one archer. Want a gunboat. Undo, gunboat's very pricey. Not a lot of stone here. Get me more stone and defend me. Alright, Archer, I don't know your ranges, but I'm hoping it's good. That worked out. Got some stone, got some food. I should really get units that just require food. That'd be good for us. A blackboard. Is that a billboard in the middle of the battlefield? It's true. There appears to be a billboard of some sort among the scattered elements of the terrain. You go to the outer walls of the court to get a better look. You need law! That thing gives me the creeps, Your Majesty. If we're about to be sued just by... As if we're about to be sued just by looking at it. You agree. Might be best to look away, lest you draw some unwanted legal attention. Another structure wades into view in the distance. You suppose this is another... Look, Your Majesty! A temple of market! Should you wish to pay your respects, it need only stay in view until low tide, right? Correct! Your brilliance continues to blind me! You want to get into Fey law? My brother practices Fey law. It's a brutal occupation. No diagonals. Prices are determined by market. I have no money. But I have what I need for war! Feel like a gunboat can do some work here, as well as archers. That should work out. Archers, why are you not doing anything? Oh, they're just defensive. They're not offensive. They don't actually go and destroy castles. Good thing my gunboat's here. Alright, gotta remember to have some soldiers. And now the court finds itself surrounded by catapults. To be perfectly precise, those appear to be trebuchets. Given that trebuchets are a subcategory of catapult, you don't see any reason why you can't just call them catapults. Very well, my queen, I retreat in the face of your overflowing wisdom. Trebuchets are way cooler than catapults. A strange building comes into view. As you observe it, the phone in your office rings. Have a good night, Mighty Odin.
Yeah, hey, Titanium Court. Your Majesty, I'm calling from the Glass House. Yeah, we sell potions. As our name suggests, we firmly oppose the act of throwing stones in any of our forms. Therefore, we'd like to offer you our full support to Titanium Court in your campaign against these stone-throwing trebuchets. To start, here's a pro tip, free of charge. Hills will block the projectiles fired by catapults. Just surround your court with hills and you'll be safe. And if that doesn't work, we sell a variety of instant use potions that can help you deal with the threat. Give us a call sometime, we'll be happy to help.
Click. Who was that, Your Majesty? You explained it was a telemarketer, albeit one whose pitch might prove useful. Wow, rare! Set something on fire. Our potions of alarmingly capable of doing just that. Make mountains out of molehills and other terrain. Cost 3 stone to get one of those. Potion of flood endurance ensures a flood wherever it lands. Statistically, a potion of teleport is the safest way to travel. Oh, we can't actually sell it during high tide? Alright. Very well. Good, good. Oh shit, didn't mean to get rid of that stone. Alright, got a rock there. Can I move another rock into position? I'll finish my time. Is there somewhere we can make a combo happen? I don't think so. Well, depending on what appears above. Nope. Bow, bow. I'm protected in a variety of directions. Buy one of them bad boys. Okay, look, there are some things we fundamentally can't change in the mountains. Hands tied, I'm sorry. Where you want a mountain? Uh-huh. I can buy another one? Actually, now that I made that one, let's just do this the easy way. There we go. Preparations for war. Give me one gunboat. A miner, an archer, and then a couple of these guys.
Very good.
What's the matter? You can't hit me with your dumb catapults? What a bummer for you. Go on, Morgana. What are we playing? I'll give you a hint. The catapults continue their assaults, although you note that there are now slightly fewer of them hanging around. It's the Twitch video controls.
I'm playing the titanium court. You wish to be enlightened, do you?
I'm feeling pretty safe as I am. And then I destroyed most of my protection. Whoopsies. There we go. That reaffirms my safety. Like, this guy won't be able to get me. This guy won't be able to get me. This guy won't be able to get me. Don't think this guy can get me. This one's the only one. Alright, these guys are the problem, but I could just teleport myself right here. Actually, if I teleport me here, we're completely safe. And I have so much food. And one boulder. There we go, nothing can touch me. Go get him, boys. It's gonna take my soldiers a while to get over this hill, but they might be able to destroy something. They made it! Man, it takes a while to carry the food back too, huh? The tide washed away the last of the catapults. You appear to have weathered the storm. Is this game soundtrack? What you just heard, yes. The threat of the catapults now eliminated, the glass house pulls up next to the court and you receive another phone call. The salesman offers congratulations for your victory and asks if there's any further assistance he might provide. You answer immediately, asking if he knows a way for you to return to your home. Oh, definitely. Let's pull over somewhere and I'll draw you a map. The salesman shows you the map and explains the directions. Okay. So you've seen this before, right? You have, but no one thus far has offered an explanation for any of it. You assumed it was some sort of map. Well, it kind of is, but it changes every day, so I'd say it's really more of a weather report. But it's pretty simple. Each of these rows is a battle. Within a given row, each column is a battlefield. Do you follow? No, you don't. You'll figure it out. But, importantly, did you know you can choose from 3 potential battlefields before every battle? No, you didn't know that. Anyway, here's where you are right now, smack in the middle of the war. To get home, you're first gonna have to make it to the end, which is right up here. Before or after that dragon? After, of course. But making it to the end isn't enough. After that, you'll need to make an exit. Make an exit. Given the abstract nature of movement through the tide, would you be willing to elaborate on that? Oh yeah, it's confusing, right? These routes were conjured back in the 60s. Everyone was hopped up on allegory or something. Around here, making an exit means you gotta consciously leave the path you're on. You know, like you gotta fundamentally change as a person. Okay. This might be a long shot, but does he have any specific advice for how you might do that? Preferably in a safe, non-traumatizing way? Do I ever? Your Majesty, that's our speciality. He sweeps his arms back to reveal a shelf of bottles under a marquee that reads, Love Potions. Is he attempting to make a joke? Not at all. Nothing changes a person more than love. Okay, you take a deep breath. If his love potions function like those described in stories, i.e. forcing an individual to fall in love with a person they otherwise have no interest in, then you have absolutely no interest in them. Your Majesty, with all due respect, that's messed up. I don't say anything like that. You've been hearing some weird rumors, eh? I blame me competition. Please let me set the record straight. My potions cannot create love from nothing. They merely expand the love that already exists within you. Seeing your shoulders relax a bit, he continues with his pitch. Now, if you're new to love potions, I definitely recommend starting small. He pulls a potion off the shelf, like this one, full of love for something called baseball. This one's great for beginners. The effects are really mild. Drink it, you'll end up liking this baseball just a bit more than you already do. That's it. You suppose that does sound relatively harmless. If he also thinks it will help you return home, you might as well give it a try. Perfect! Oh, come on. Put your wallet away. I'm not going to charge you for it. Just take it. And so you return to the court with a new map of the war and a single complimentary potion of liking baseball. Ah, now you have a certain idea of what you're looking at here. Based on what the salesman told you, this is either a map or a weather report. Either way, the important thing is that you can choose which upcoming battlefield to traverse. Which battlefield should the court traverse? What's going on, Nara? It's all fun and games to buy a love potion for murder. I fucking love murder! So water has a chest on it. Forest and stone both have sales houses on it. I'm gonna go with water. I mean, we have gunboats. Water seems good for us. Scamps and goons! Scamps and goons, Harry! Scamps and goons! Well, the field is broken. Arrange it to your advantage. There's a new sign on the battlefield. You look through a spyglass at the sign in the distance. A dead end. Oh, I know this one. This is a memento mori. I hear they're popular among mortals. This one's quite simple, perhaps even unrefined. It says, dead end. So any mortal who reads it can remember exactly what awaits them at the end. In case they forget. Precisely. You deem it unnecessary to offer any sort of correction. Ooh, a new type of little angry building. A clubhouse. Produces scamps! Oh, yeah. Oh, I destroyed a chest. A love potion for taxes? God, don't even get me started. I have a little section of water here, which is nice. But I don't like these guys being right next to me. That'll end it. That doesn't get me a combo. Be nice to combo. Let's see here. Water will drop. Forest will drop. Can I combo out? If I could just get this one to drop 1. Alas, this one drops 2. Oh, actually, both dropping will get me a forest 3. Oh, not enough of a combo to get me going more? That's a lot of baddies. A lot of baddies. Lumberjack. Get it. Your hand is currently full. While it's your majesty's right and privilege to engage in queenly access, you'll need to drop something if you want to hold something else. Okay, so, how would you like to go about doing that? Allow me! When interacting with a shop or chest, simply click on your cards to offer them up for sale. That's the only way to get rid of your cards. You're welcome. Alright, so we have a lumberjack. Instantly gain 10 stone. Charm, offensive spell. Enemies become friends. Oh, that's like usable over and over and over again, huh? I think I'll sell my gun boat. And then I shall turn enemies into buddies. Alright, so we have guy that can make me stone, a charm spell, archers that are purely defensive. These guys are also purely defensive, but they can also get me stuff. I think I'll just sell this. We have so much food. There we go. Friends. Go get him, boys. Nuh-uh, you're muted. Nuh-uh. Got plenty of chests on screen. Just the way I like it. Now I got shop on screen too. Even better. So 2 rare chests. Big lock guy. We gotta be careful not to complete that forest trio. That'd be bad for us. Obliterated it. Well, I still have 1 on screen. Can't take that away from me. Open. Double beam. Offensive spell. Raise your entire row. 20 of everything. God damn. Sell it. Do some shopping. Barracks. Offensive structure. Produces 2 soldiers at the start of each battle. Oh. Neat. Vertical difficulty. Archer outpost. Offensive ferry. A scam. Very fragile, huh? I think I'm pretty happy with what I got.
Preparations for war.
Welcome to my team.
Begin!
Ugh, they're gonna be murdered before they could ever cross that. But the boats are stuck up there, so it doesn't matter. Theme of this game is a little strange, but I think I like it. I really dig the theming of this game. It's presented as like they're kind of doing hold on. Shakespeare play with Puck in it. Midsummer Night. We got our fairies is presented as a play. Puck is literally in the game. As the court moves motionlessly across the void, it suddenly encounters a neighbor. Your courtiers cry out in alarm. You spy a great dragon soaring above his lair in the distance. Legendary apex predator opens his mouth to address the court. Here's what he says. That is just... That is just an iguana right there. That's very funny. But before you can say anything, one of your courtiers approaches you nervously. Your Majesty? Yes? Well, it's... Well... What is it? Can't you see this is a bad time? Well, you've overstayed your what? What are they trying to tell you? Allow me. The fairies of the court are attempting to tell you that you've completed the demo. Wait, it's done? What about the dragon? Don't worry, your save file will carry over to the full version of the game, should you choose to purchase it. You'll be able to pick up exactly where you left off. Okay, but you'll probably have forgotten how most of this works by then. We won't make you leave or anything. They won't, but I will. Goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the full game once it's available. Alright, that's very clearly a winner. Like, from start to finish, this has so much good personality going on. I will wishlist it, but I'm not clicking on this fucking button because you're going to launch a browser! God damn it. So annoying.